believe it was around February of 2023. And if you had asked me, I would have told you that I thought there was a good chance the world was going to end. And I was so nervous and fearful. I was buying all of this stuff, prepping. And I was dealing with my fear all by myself because no one else seemed to want to move or do anything. I was asking my family to put together a family emergency plan, and everybody just kind of shrugged me off. And I remember, seeing these helicopters flying over my house. I remember the UFO that flew over Lake Michigan, and they were talking about World War was imminent. And they were talking about aliens here and aliens there, and the whole world seemed to be exploding. And I remember just being in an overwhelming state of fear because I thought I couldn't protect my children. And it was disabling, the amount of fear that I had, because everything in me intuitively knew at that moment, in that storyline, this world was going to quickly come to an end. We were reaching a pinnacle. And I know everybody felt it. Everyone did. The solar eclipse, well, let's just say not all storylines are like ours, but things are way better. But in that moment, I was so fearful. And that's when I met Mother. Today's word is, I am thankful for Gaia grounding me. I can't believe that it did that earlier. It always does it on TikTok. Usually, y'all, I either will walk away completely, like this is a sign to not do it, or I walk away for a day. I won't resist. But anyway, I wasn't gonna finish today, but I was like, I'm sitting out here, I'm relaxing, why not? But anyway, so when I met Mother, I explained how I was in deep fear. Everything was looking like it was the end. Everyone felt it. I was prepping, buying all this stuff, storing it in my home, trying to get my family to do emergency planning, and I was just full of fear. And I'll never forget my sister saying to me, hey, Sadi, no matter what, you know that God's got you, and we'll be okay. Whatever God has got in store. And, at the time I remember thinking in my mind, yeah, that's easy said, but my primary care is my children always. And so that was driving me, because I was like, well, what do I do? How do I protect my kids? I'm a single mom. And I was a single mom at this time, and I was dealing with a bad situation with their dad, who was the absolute worst person you would want in a survival movie with you, and when it was by chance. It was not by chance, by God's design. I never had went to this metaphysics shop before. I never went to a metaphysics shop, period. And there was an open house. I saw it online, and I was like, hey sis, let's go. So we went, and they were having a raffle, and I put my name in. I ended up winning two things. One was this energy facial, which was the most amazing facial. I swear, I felt like they were peeling away just years and years of spiritual residue and garbage, and I'm sure they were. And then the second thing was for a sound bath, and I had never had that done before. And this woman was this practitioner, again, new to me. She wasn't touching me, she was doing, sound therapy. And I closed my eyes and I was already like activated from the facial I had received, whatever she had used. I think it was like a Japanese facial, spiritual facial.
Mommy,
And
how popsicle, mommy?
Okay, in a minute, okay?
Okay, mommy, can I eat popsicle?
Okay, baby, I got you. Can you give me 1 second?
Yeah.
Okay. But she, yeah, baby. But yeah, she was working on me, and when she was working on me, I just felt like fire. I felt like I was burning from the inside out. It hurt so bad that I honestly was like gonna tell her to stop. And then it was like as it started to burn, I felt kind of like I was lifting. Not literally, but I felt like I was light and lifting. And like my eyes were closed, but everything went indigo, and I swear I saw an eye, and it was like where my third eye was. And right at that moment when I was seeing this eye, and I was totally freaking out, and then she, the practitioner was to my right, I started seeing, as my eyes were closed, like an energy imprint of like a woman, a very delicate woman, the outline of her, right, walking toward me to my left. And I just felt her before I felt her. Like, and I remember I turned my head and I was looking, and she touched my forearm, and I looked, and it was like I was immediately filled with so much security and peace and love and comfort and nurturing. And my fear that had been plaguing me, like really plaguing me, y'all, I was flipping out. I was so scared because it was like, it's the end of the world, it's a world war, it's the end of the war, it's the war, It lifted, and what I heard was, because you are mine, you will always be protected, and your children will always be protected. No matter what happens, they will always return to me, so you have no fear. Something so small grounded me in that moment. She took on all my fear and absorbed it and relieved me. That day, y'all, I have not been the same from that moment. And it was like, from that moment, I was like, okay, I need to know more about Gaia. I need to know more about this spirit. I need to understand who she is. Gaia oversees Gaia oversees the spiritual school that is Earth. We think of her just in the physical in terms of the sustenance, for our bodies, our organic matter, for our food, and for us, our avatars. God is all creation in the sun feeding us. She is what actually creates it here. The womb. She represents the womb to grow it. And so I started looking up everything, and I was like, I've got to deepen my connection. I've got to know her. So I started grounding every day, putting my feet, out in the grass, even when it was cold, y'all. And when it's too cold, using my grounding mat every night using my grounding mat. And I started actually dialoguing and just thanking Gaia for every time that I have an issue, or I just want to recenter my energy, right? Because our natural energy is being one with the earth, being out in nature, touching, interacting. And nowadays we don't. So just thanking her for grounding me, grounding my energy, cleansing my aura, releasing any negative stagnant energy. That is how she grounds us. She equalizes us out. That is how you transmute your pain. Through Gaia, we have to be thankful. That is a reciprocal relationship, though. If she is receiving our pains and helping us to alchemize our pain and turn it into healing and positivity, we must also do the giving to her. We have to acknowledge that, one, she exists. Two, we have to honor her as the mother. Honor her and give her reverence and acknowledge the divine feminine in our world, in our society. We have to say her name, Mother. All praise to the Most High God. Love to the Mother.